Alright, so I'm going to be winterizing a camper. It's a Sportsman by KZ, but it doesn't really make much of a difference because it's just a generalized type of winterization. So I got to get all the water out of the lines so they don't freeze. And then I empty the holding tanks, or the gray water and the black water tank. I usually I empty them every time we go camping. So I emptied them at the last campsite we were at. But you know, you get a little bit in there that kind of runs out, and then it gets up against the valve, and once things start freezing, it starts causing damage. So I usually try to drain it out all the way, so there's nothing in there. But so first thing I do is I drain the water tank, or the hot water tank. So on this one, it's at the back. So there is a plug with a sacrificial anode on it, and you remove that plug, and then you drain it. It'd be nice if there wasn't this lip with the seal here, so it actually comes out of the thing. But anyway, so they could probably all different size plugs. This one is a 1 1/16 or a 27 millimeter, I believe, will work as well. But so you just remove that, and then you drain the hot water tank. It's been draining a while, if you ask me. But anyway, so you get some corrosion on it. So basically the way that this works, if nobody knows, is this corrodes before the inside of the tank corrodes. So this is put in there as that's why it's called the sacrificial anode, is because you sacrifice this over your tank. So this is designed to corrode before the inside of your tank corrodes. This helps prolong the life of it. But so we'll drain that out, and then we'll put the plug back in. So we finished draining it, and put the plug back in so it'll hold pressure. And then we'll go around and add air to the service line going in. Got this brass cap. I wrote 30 psi on it, so remember the pressure, so you don't want to go really over 30 pounds. Some systems can probably handle more, but this is what I use. So thread the cap into your freshwater connection, and then I got this clip-on airline to so it stays on. Just let it hang like so. And we'll go inside, and we will drain all the lines. So come in, start with like a, I don't know, shower or something, whatever you want to start with. So you drain everything. back to that. But so I do everything to your toilet. Keep you from getting sprayed. Get the sinks. Do that. I'll do this one out here. So just go around and keep doing that periodically. So I have to go around and drain out all the air out of your lines. You find your hot water tank, and there should be a bypass on them. Yep. Like this one. So I'll turn that, and actually, you want to turn on the hot water. So turn on the hot water so we got air coming through the valve before we shut it off to blow the little thing out. Because if you get air inside that small if you get air inside the small little ball that turns, it'll split sideways. So yep, you shut it off. So that way we can bypass the hot water tank, so we're not filling the hot water tank up with a whole bunch of antifreeze. So outside we got a freshwater drain for the storage tank. We didn't use it, but I opened it anyway to drain it, and a little bit came out. And then we'll shut that back off. And then there should be 2 drains in the back. I don't know if they're for specific things, but I know that there are 2 back here. So I'll open these up and drain these 2. Alright, so should be done with blowing the air out. We'll remove this, and we'll start pumping the antifreeze through. So with the RV and Marine antifreeze. It's good to -50 for potable water, so make sure it's for potable water. And some are different. Our previous trailer had a hose on the outside, or a fitting on the outside. I had to hook up a hose to that it pumped from. This one has a pump underneath the sink here, so we turn on the side to this hose. This goes to this one goes to the freshwater storage tank. So you select which one you want, and this will pump through and then through the lines. So then come up, and you should turn the water pump on and start pumping it out. So it'll go till it pressurizes the lines, and then I'll start turning the valves on and pumping it through. So once it starts coming through, then I know that section of line is done. You want to do both valves on your sink. You want to do your toilet, the shower, obviously, and then the sink, and any outside water fixtures you might have. And then pretty much the drain that was in the back, you want to turn that too a little bit to make sure that if there's any water stuck in the ball of the ball valve, that you get some antifreeze in there, or get it out so it doesn't split the valve. So you want to go till it comes out pink. You also want a little bit in both sides in case there's P-traps. Just have to keep an eye on it because that's how much it sucked down. So you also want to get it through the shower. This is going to be a little tricky on this one because just the way it is. So I got this one out here also. And we'll take what's left over, we'll pour them in the P-traps so they don't freeze up because you get a little bit of water in there. I mean, obviously, if you've got water in the P-trap and this brings it down, it ends up getting diluted as it goes in, so you might have to put a little bit extra in there to strength or keep the antifreeze at its full strength. So after draining all those lines, you end up getting all the water that's in the lines in your holding tank. So I'll come over here with a bucket and I'll put it under the valve here, and I'll drain both tanks out, and then I put a steel cover on my septic tank a while ago because I got one of those outlet filters in there, so I got to clean it every so often. So basically I'll just drain it from here and then I'll just dump it in the tank out there. So that's how I used to do it. I used to have one of those caddies because I couldn't. The previous trailer we had a sag in the holding tanks, and they wouldn't fully drain, so I'd have to put like a jack under them to flatten them out so they would fully drain. And then the last place we'd go camping, I'd have a difficult time dumping it because we usually went there at the end of the year, so I'd have a difficult time dumping the both tanks. So I'd have to tip the trailer up, and then I'd have to use the tongue jack to raise it and lower it to get both tanks, because they were on opposing sides of the drain. And so I used to use a caddy, and I would dump it into the caddy, and then I would dump it into the tank. So anyway, so that's what I'll do. And we dump the rest of the antifreeze in the drains to make sure that the P-traps and stuff don't crack. But so that's how I winterize our trailers. Hope that can help somebody, and I thank you for watching.